If you've never prepared a miniature or model before, or if you keep running into problems that compromise your final result, then this video is for you.
Miniature Landscape Hobbies is proudly supported by these sponsors. Let's be very clear right up front. There's a right way and a wrong way to prepare miniatures for painting. This step is not optional. It's not something you can kind of do and hope for the best. And while model preparation might not be the most exciting part of the hobby, it's not flashy, it doesn't get likes on Instagram, but for miniature builders and painters, it's arguably the most important stage of the entire process.
Because no amount of proper blending or edge highlighting will ever conceal a miniature that wasn't prepared correctly in the first place.
So today, we're going to slow down, take this step seriously, and unpack how exceptional hobbyists and professional painters prepare their models for painting. So your miniatures hit the painting table looking clean, sharp, and ready to shine. Like any form of art, miniature painting needs a solid foundation. Think of it like building a house. If the foundation is crooked, everything built on top of it will show these problems, no matter how nice the finish looks. This video is all about creating that foundation. We're going to cover why preparation matters more than people realize, the most common problems that show up after paint is applied, the tools and materials you actually need, no gimmicks, and a clear, repeatable workflow that you can use on every model you build.
Because here's the hard truth. The minor imperfections that you barely see on the bare plastic, resin, or metal become glaringly obvious once you get the primer and the paint on.
Primer doesn't hide mistakes, it highlights them. So if you want clean, professional-looking results, preparation is where that journey really begins. Before we grab tools, we need to understand what we're removing and why. Mold lines are those thin raised edges you'll find running along the surface of a miniature, often vertically along arms, legs, faces, and weapons. They're caused when excess material escapes where the two halves of the mold meet during casting. They're usually pretty subtle, but they're also the number one thing that ruins an otherwise good paint job. Left alone, mold lines catch light, disrupt highlights, and instantly make a painted miniature look unfinished. Flashing is most common on metal models. You'll usually spot it on hands, feet, cloth edges, or weapon tips. Thin strands or sheets of excess material that simply don't belong there. These form where molten metal or resin seeps into tiny air vents in the mold, and they always need to be removed. Plastic models arrive attached to sprues, the plastic frames that hold these parts during molding. The small contact points where the part meets the sprue are called sprue gates. Even when clipped carefully, these always leave behind material that must be cleaned up. Tags provide a similar purpose to sprues on resin and metal models. They provide structural support during casting. Like sprue gates, they're unavoidable, and they always require cleanup. For 3D printing, supports are thin rods of cured resin that hold parts in place during printing. They're often attached to a larger raft or base, and must be removed completely and cleanly before painting. Finally, there's mold release agent. This is an oily residue sometimes left on models, especially resin ones, and this helps them release from the molds. If it's present, primer and paint won't adhere properly, no matter how good your technique is, so it'll need to be cleaned.
The good news is that preparing miniatures doesn't require a huge investment. Most of the tools are common and easy to find, and the techniques are pretty much universal no matter what type of material the models are made of.
To make this even easier, I've put together a downloadable PDF guide linked below. It walks you through model preparation step by step and includes bonus information not covered in the video. This only costs you a couple bucks, and if you want maximum value, consider joining my Patreon. Now let's talk tools. First, you need the model itself, all of its parts, and any separate components, like plastic or MDF bases. Next, you need something to mount the model on for painting. For 28mm models, I use a nail. For smaller scales, I use balsa wood strips. There are commercial holders available, but I prefer cheap solutions so I can save my money for more miniatures. You'll also need a craft knife with fresh blades, glue, plastic glue for plastic kits, super glue for resin kits and metal models. A super glue accelerant to save time and frustration as well also really helps. Add to that sprue cutters or side cutters, needle files or sanding sticks, and primer, airbrush, brush on, or rattle can, it's up to you. There are also a couple optional things that you might find useful. Dish soap is good, a bowl of warm water, and a heat gun or kettle for fixing warped parts.
Now let's put all of this into action.
Start by removing tags or cutting parts off the sprue. Position your sprue cutters with the flat side toward the model and clip carefully. There'll almost always be some leftover material, and that's normal. We'll deal with it later. For 3D printed models, supports are often just lightly attached. Careful slicing along the join with a knife is usually faster and cleaner than clipping. Metal models can often be straightened gently using your fingers. Work slowly and don't force anything. Flat surfaces like desks are great for straightening swords, spears, and shields. Resin and printer resin models often need heat to fix warping. Use a heat gun on a very low setting or hot water from a kettle. Once the part becomes slightly flexible, bend it back into shape and then let it cool. Always take your time here, and if you're younger, ask an adult for help. This is the most important step. Hold your knife at a shallow angle and gently scrape along the surface of the model. Pay close attention to the center lines of limbs, torsos, and heads. This is where mold lines almost always hide. Cut away flashing as you go. When you think you're done, close your eyes and feel the model with your fingers. Your fingertips will find problems your eyes miss, especially on metal models. Do you feel anything out of place? Go back at it with a knife. Then finish by lightly sanding stubborn areas with a file or sanding stick. If there is any chance that mold release agent is present, wash the model. Use warm water with a few drops of dish soap in it and soak it for about 20 minutes. After that, gently scrub it with an old toothbrush or a ragged brush. Rinse and then dry completely. This step alone can save hours of frustration later.
Once everything is clean and ready, it's time to assemble your model. Remember to use plastic glue for plastic joins and super glue for everything else.
Now you need to mount the models for painting. For 28mm models, I use nails. And for smaller scales, I use balsa wood strips. Now take single drops of super glue, lay them down, and glue the model either to the nail or to the strip of balsa wood. Don't use a lot so it's easier to remove at the end. Alternatively, if you can find some blue tack or other adhesive putty that's strong enough, you could use that too. Now that this is done, you can go ahead and prime. I prefer airbrushing, but rattle cans and brush-on primers work just fine. Some plastics can react badly to certain propellants in rattle cans, so always test on a spare piece of sprue first. Apply it in thin coats, then let it dry fully, and don't rush the step. You can always add more primer later, but you can't remove it.
And that's it. Your model is now properly prepared and ready for paint.
And please remember that if you want the handy guide to preparing your own miniatures in a PDF format, you can buy it for only a couple bucks at the link in the video description. Or alternatively, go ahead and join my Patreon for only $3 a month. That way you'll get access to all of my handy guides, including those upcoming in the future. I'll be back soon with more miniature painting tutorials, product reviews, and terrain tips. In the meantime, I'd really appreciate it if you'd consider joining my Patreon. Right now, there's also an extra benefit for members at all tiers, even free members, and that's an exclusive guide to mastering miniature painting theory. This handcrafted PDF will enhance your painting skills. I pretty much guarantee it. And best of all, you can get it completely free as a thank you for taking interest in miniature landscape hobbies. Just sign up for the free Patreon membership tier. No credit card required, no strings attached. Lastly, if you'd like to purchase any miniatures or hobby supplies for yourself, you'll see links to Wayland Games and Miniature Market in the video description. Any purchase you make will contribute a small commission to the channel, which I would really appreciate. See you next time for more miniature gaming, painting, and diorama videos. But most importantly, until then, remember to keep building life in miniature.